One of the great things about Eurorack is the diversity of different controller options, either Eurorack modules or external devices, CV keyboards and sequencers, and also MIDI to CV converters. However, many of these don't produce negative CV signals, which can cause problems when you're trying to reach the lowest frequencies that your VCOs can produce. In an earlier video I showed how to use a glide noise module to access the CV bus to control multiple VCOs without having to patch them all independently. So currently just this one input is controlling the pitch of all three of these, and they're all set at different octaves, starting with the lowest at this end. And this keyboard is just set to its default settings, there's no octave changes, and this is how it sounds. And I can change the octave down on the keyboard controller. And then I can go down another octave. Now you can hear that's not right because it should be an octave below the last note. In fact, it stops there. So I can defeat this problem using the precision voltages. If I take the output from the controller, go into channel A or B, we'll use A in this case, and come out of channel A into the CV input. And at the moment, with everything turned off, that will just sound the same as before. That's where it started. But I've got this rotary switch set to 1 octave. And with this switch, I can add or subtract an octave from the CV voltage. So I'm going to take this down an octave because I want to get to lower notes. I'll change the rotary switch to 2. Now that was a note that the keyboard couldn't produce on its own, or couldn't reach on its own. And it can go even further than that, but obviously you get to the point where it just becomes not really musically useful. But then you're able to push the output to something like a VCO, so you can basically get it to behave like an LFO. Like if I rotate this all the way around. I mean, it's musically useless, but it basically means that I can then use the VCO as an LFO, which on this one I can do anyway because you've got this mode here, but that in itself is also very useful. But another thing you can do is with the glide noise, because you've got this CV output, I can take this output to channel B of the precision voltages, and then take another cable from output B and send it to a VCO. So at the moment it will be the same as it was before, but then using this rotary pot, I'm going to set this to 7 intervals. This allows you to choose an accurate pitched interval that you can either add or subtract from the outgoing signal on either channel A or B. In this case on B, I'm going to use this to add 7 semitones to the middle VCO. Or I can subtract 7. So if I take the output from the precision voltages and put it into the 1 volt per octave input of the filter, just the same as if I'd taken the output from the CV out on a glide noise, because this filter will self-oscillate and it will track a keyboard 1 volt per octave, it can be used as a very simple sine wave oscillator, which can then be played melodically along with your VCOs. So at the moment, because I'm coming out of the precision voltages, I can use this to shift the intervals between the pitch of the VCOs or the pitch of the filter when it's self-oscillating. So I'm going to change this to 5 semitones, and I'm going to deduct 5 semitones from the pitch of the filter.